right? If you cannot demand desire, right, and you can't negotiate attraction, I think that was the word I was looking for earlier on when I said buy or talk, like you're trying to negotiate, right? Or you can't use your wife's affection as proof that you're valuable, right? If you can't use those things, now what does rebuilding attraction actually require from you? The answer is not pretending rejection does not hurt. The reality is that rejection hurts all the time. Okay. The answer is building enough capacity that rejection no longer decides who you become next. And when you start that way, because again, rejection is inevitable, right? In any relationship, meaning there's going to be moments that is just funky. Some people call it the dry spell, right? It's funky, and it's not necessarily always your fault. It's not because you're smelly. It's not because you didn't wash your boxers yesterday. It's not always that. Sometimes it's that. You should clean up after yourself, by the way, right? So you have this option, right? We have all this option here where, you start, you have this option. Let's see, how do I do this? Okay, let's do it like this, right? You have the option of going cuckoo wild, negative, right? You start measuring how many times, we don't want to go this route, okay? Because this route right here is driven by fear. It's easy. It's for losers, right? Well, just because you fail one time doesn't mean you always fail. Just something to avoid, right? So instead of going that route, we're going to go a different route this time. Anytime you feel rejection, right, we're going to go to grounding. This is very important. I'm going to share something we'll call the GPS, the 3 core pillars with you, okay? GPS. This is the 3 core pillars. All right, and this is a major part of what we teach and what guides our framework, okay? So you want to go towards grounding because again, rejection will happen, right? And the idea here is to build enough capacity that you are able to flip the pain of rejection into attraction. Okay, we want to be able to flip the pain of rejection because everybody hates rejection. I do. I still do. Okay, I don't like when I'm being rejected. I just know what to do with that. And I also know it to get more rejection because that's how you build muscles. That's how you build greatness in life. It's about getting more no's, right? But I get it. You don't want, the last thing you want to get is get more no's from your wife. It doesn't always come in the form of sexual no, right? But again, these are opportunities to build trust. Let me put this out there so you can understand this. This is opportunity to build right, to build trust, safety. If they feel safe around you, they want to have sex with you. Simple. Keep it simple, right? And security. If they feel safe and secure around you, she wants, that's it. That's the bottom line, okay? And remember that her not feeling safe around you is not always, it's not absolutely your fault. You're there to help, okay? You're there to become an environment she can run to, okay? And I know I'm saying she could be the other way around too, but let's just focus here, right? So GPS. So we have grounding, right? And we're not going to pretend that rejection does not hurt. That's the point I'm making right now. The answer is building enough capacity, right? So we go from rejection to grounding. That's the choice you want to make. So your wife can turn away tonight, right? She turns her back towards you. And the idea is that you don't want to turn that moment into a verdict, okay? You don't want to turn that moment into a verdict about your masculinity, meaning please don't stop begging, okay? Right? You don't want it to turn into a verdict about your marriage because it shows up as fear and panic. It shows up as lack of confidence, and confidence is always sexy. So that means lack of confidence is always diminish. It destroys your desirability, right? So you don't want to turn it to a verdict about the future of your romance with your wife. It could just, that's just that moment. It's temporary, right? And how you treat that moment is everything. And the only reason why you're not going to treat that moment as an opportunity to keep scores is, especially if it's been happening for a little bit, is grounding. So grounding will bring you back from panic to gratitude, meaning there's a reason why that person is your partner right now. Why don't you spend some more time appreciating why they are your partner? In the final analysis, in the grand scheme of things, there's a reason why they're here, right? And those reasons is not just all, like, it's never really negative. There's something about that person that brought you back together, right? And if you celebrate more of those, you're probably going to get more of that, right? So that's what we mean by gratitude. So the G stands for the G also stands for gratitude. I'm going to put gratitude under here, right? It's just a sense of gratitude. Gratitude is one of the hardest things for human beings to do. I don't know if you know that. Gratitude is one of the hardest things for human beings to do. It's easier for us to see how everything is going wrong, and we keep scores of all the wrong things more so than we keep scores of what we're enjoying or what we find value in, right? And if you can elevate yourself above the natural and just do what winners do, winners are the minority usually, then you might see a different. You definitely will see a difference. Okay, all right, good. So we have grounding right now. So grounding will return you from panic, will move you, gravitate you away from panic to gratitude. Sometimes you might need your faith. These are the things you can tap into, help you create emotional stability. And then the next choice, now you're able to control. And we can now go from grounding into the second core pillar in our framework, which is purpose. Okay, we're going to go into purpose. All right, so purpose is, you can't really build purpose without pain. A lot of people, pain is a necessary ingredient here, right? And I'll tell you even more so. We're going to need, so remember, pain, rejection comes with pain. Right? Rejection comes with pain, right? When you bring that together with grounding, you're able to flip that pain into purpose. We're going somewhere. Stick with me here. But what do I mean by purpose, right? Because I know that can sound vague and it sounds so disconnected from what you want, which is attraction. You want to be desired by your partner, right? See, once rejection stops taking over every hour of your day, obsession, rejection breeds obsession, right? Your life gets bigger again, right? When I say your life, I'm talking about the reason why you're here, like your life mission, your life work, your life purpose. And you can probably it's probably easier for you to tap into that by looking at, maybe, let's say you're a father, you have children, you have creativity, you have some people, believe it or not, it's like, it's just meditation, right? Just being able to go back into your center, your spirituality, right? Just a higher sense of self, but more so now the impact, being intentional about the impact you want to leave on your surroundings, on the people around you in your area. That no longer depends on how they respond to you in real time. Now you're intentionally just pouring, because remember, it's grounded, right? You actually have a source, because grounding means you're actually going back to your source, your higher self, right? So it's very important to understand this, because you have to take the time to understand this, because it's not easy, right? Remember, the easy path is the loser's part. This is where you're just going with your feelings and you feel rejected, so you're just going to act accordingly, and it just gets worse and worse. Now you're moving in purpose. Okay, in fact, we had a client who slowly but surely, this is exactly to his words, like surely he had made the partner the primary source of companionship, attention, safety, and validation. That's a lot to put on one human being. Okay, now you can get those things from your partner, but you really have to be careful with making them your primary source, because if you make them the primary source, you're going to drain them. It's just going to show in your behavior and the way you show up. It's going to show as needy, as clingy. And it's natural to go in that direction when you feel rejected. The first thing you want to do is start begging and proving and apologizing and then complaining and then explaining and then getting defensive. And when you have defensiveness, you're one-fourth the journey into divorce, because defensiveness leads to criticism, right? That leads into eventually the other person feels so pressured they shut down, stonewalling, right? So now you have 3 out of 4. The only thing you have left is contempt. Well, throughout those 3, contempt has been happening because it's now me against you. Why do people keep scoreboards? That's me against you as opposed to me and you against the world. If that's the energy driving your relationship or your attitude about sex or rejection around sex, it's just going to get worse. So from purpose, we can move